Hi, I'm Eleanor Meyerhofer, a native Californian designer and digital strategist. In October of 1999, a few years after graduating from design school, I flew from San Francisco to Munich with a fistful of Deutschmarks, a dial-up connection, and an extremely vague plan. 20 plus years later, after a 10-year stint at a global agency, freelancing, and launching 2 online businesses, I'm still here. Now I'm talking to other expat business owners to share knowledge, stories, and inspiration for other non-Germans running businesses in Germany. Today, I am really excited to bring you Jesus Navarrez, who is a kind of personal hero of mine, and it'll become apparent in the course of the interview. But I'm going to just kick it off with asking you, Jesus, the quick question I ask everybody, which, where are you from and what is the 2-minute version of how you ended up in Germany?
Well, the 2-minute version, I'm from Mexico. The 2-minute version why I'm here is less than a minute. Because of that is my wife.
Okay.
She's German. I know her in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And we got married in Mexico. We lived there for years. My first son is born in Mexico. He was born in Mexico. And after 4 years, we try Germany.
Okay. And that was how
That's
long
why
ago?
I'm in Germany. Oh, let me see, 34 years.
Wow. So you've been here a long time. And where in Mexico?
Mexico City.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And now you are in Unterschleißheim, correct?
Well, my business is in Unterschleißheim.
Okay.
We live in Munich, in Passing.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one end of town to the other, isn't it?
No, not really. No.
Not really? Okay. I thought
No.
Passing's on one side. Okay. That shows you what I know. Okay. So, and would you mind sharing a little bit? I mean, we might come back to, that's a big change, Mexico City. I have only been to the airport there, but I understand it's a world-class, amazing city. And not that Passing isn't lovely, but it's a big difference. So that's a change I'm sure we can talk about a little bit. But I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your business.
So we make tortillas, basically, wheat and corn tortillas, and tortilla chips. And we import products from Mexico, like chilies and salsas and dried chilies and cactus and so on. And we sell here mostly to restaurants, but a lot of to in retail.
Yeah. B2C, and that's how
through our website.
latortilla.de.
Right.
That's how I discovered you. So I was telling you a little bit yesterday, I'm originally born and raised in LA, Southern California, where Mexican food is like Californian cuisine as well. So anybody living here who grew up eating Mexican food for a long time, it was a real challenge to get anything. And when I first moved to Germany, which was over 22 years ago, there really wasn't a lot of Mexican food here, or things that restaurants said was Mexican food was something, but it was not Mexican. And I used to bring tortillas over in my suitcase, or there was one guy at Victorian Markt who kind of had this Spanish kind of booth, and you could buy frozen tortillas for like 20 Deutschmarks maybe then. It was just very hard to get. And then somebody, I can't remember who, told me about your site, and it was just amazing that I could suddenly get not only tortillas, but all kinds, tomatillo sauce, all kinds of things at a normal price in Germany. So you said you sell to both restaurants and individuals. Like what percentage is to restaurants, and what percentage would you say is like to people from the website?
Oh, well, I don't know, in quantity?
Like percentage of your business.
Percentage, okay.
Yeah.
So we have around, I would say 75% to restaurants.
Okay.
And on wholesales.
Yeah.
And the rest will be individuals.
Yeah. And so when you said, okay, we're going to give Germany a try, was that always the plan? Like, I'm going to start an import business and sell Mexican goods, like foodstuffs, in Germany?
No, not at all. at all.
Okay. How did it
So
happen?
as we moved here, we we were thinking about to make a business. We didn't know exactly what to do. We had to sort of watch what would be necessary or desirable, and what could be a good business. We thought at that time in handcrafts, importing handcraft from Mexico. There are beautiful things there. And well, it didn't work out as we thought at that time. But being established already in Munich, we have a guest, German guest, friends of my wife and so on. They were just like waiting that we offer some Mexican food.
Okay.
And then I realized without tortillas it's very, very difficult to make a kind of Mexican food. With tortillas it's very easy, everything. You know, you make some tacos, you make enchiladas, you make chilaquiles, you make what you want.
Yeah.
But without tortillas, the offer will be very small. And so I realized at that time German needs tortillas. And at that time there were a company, is still there. Today they are my concurrents. And I ordered tortillas from them, and they sell them in a can.
What?
Yeah, really. And you open the can, and the tortillas will, like an Egyptian
Mummy?
mummy,
Yeah.
you know. Was so frustrating. No? So at that time, so I said, no, we could make tortillas without knowing how to make tortillas. Anyway, no, we talk a little bit of a kind of marketing study here in Germany. We find out how many families, Mexican families, there were in Munich and around, and well, we get it. And how many restaurants now, and we kind of calculate how many tortillas we can sell, and see that it will be a good business.
Okay.
Could be a good business, you know. And so we started with the idea. You know, that was the beginning of La Tortilla.
Okay.
On
So,
paper.
all right. And at that time, were there many Mexican restaurants here?
Around, I don't know, 10, 12, something like that.
In all of Germany
No,
or
just
Munich?
in Munich.
And still in
Yeah.
Munich. So
Yeah.
there it was happening slowly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so you didn't have a background in like producing tortillas. It was just like
No.
you had a need and like you looked around and saw some tortillas in a can. It was like, okay,
Yeah.
there's a Marktlücke here. So I saw the little video on your site. Can you tell me a little bit about the process of starting this business and like there's a particular machine you had to import over from Mexico?
Well, we imported at that time a little machine, as you know, in the tortillas in Mexico, was a small one. And we thought, yeah, okay, that we import it, we install it, and we start making tortillas. Nope.
You mean like a little tortilla press?
Not like this. No, it was not like this.
Yeah.
No, this was a mechanical machine.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
you put the dough in one side, and you get tortillas made on the other side.
Okay. And why didn't that work?
Because of the German regulations.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we had the machine here, and we couldn't start because we didn't get the gas for a machine. So they said this machine have to go through the TÜV.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so we called the TÜV, an engineer who wanted around, I don't know, at that time, 240 marks per hour or something like
So
that.
it's like 120 euros an hour.
Had
Okay.
seen the machine and said, oh no, we have to change that, and they have to change another thing, and we have to change many things. know?
Mm-hmm.
And so we started with the process of changing the machine. That's with Mexican standards to German standards. And one day, I don't know how really, but one day we were ready to make tortillas.
Okay.
So we started with this. My wife and me trying to make tortillas. And also we make around, I don't know, 100 kilos trash and some 13, 14 kilo tortillas. Something like that. So we have to check what's wrong, how it doesn't work, and so on. And someday we got it done, and we
Okay.
were producing tortillas, no just trash. No?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So we
So,
started.
okay, so you got the machine, you did all this stuff with tooth. I mean, I don't even want to know because it's not just, I'm guessing, the machine, it's food and importing. Like, wasn't there a lot of other bureaucracy? Like all kinds of
No,
you for the
no, for
food,
the
selling food was okay?
for the import was everything okay.
And
No,
selling
and
food you didn't need?
no, there
Okay.
were that was a problem because it was kind of bakery,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And some German institution said, no, you cannot make tortillas because you need to go 2 years in a bakery to learn how to do how to do them.
So you need to spend 2 years making Frankenleib and then you can make tortillas.
Yeah, yeah. And so we got writing from this institution, and well, we protested, and that was it. So we they said, yeah, okay, you can make tortillas, but use tortillas.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how did you protest that? You sent letters and said like this makes no sense. I
Excuse
don't
me
need
again.
how did you protest it? Did you just send letters? Did you have to get a lawyer? Did you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
say
No, 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 no. We just got to the next responsible person on the
mm-hmm.
organigram, you know,
Uh-huh.
and they say, no, okay, it doesn't work if you go 2 years in a bakery
Uh-huh.
because you won't learn how to make tortillas there.
Good pretzels, but not a tortilla.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that doesn't sound as difficult as one might think.
Oh, well, I am telling just the short version. It was
Okay.
kind of difficult, you know.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, and how did you okay, so you've got your tortillas made, you've got your machine, it's approved by the TÜV, you've convinced Germany you don't need to learn how to bake pretzels to make tortillas.
yeah.
So the business part, how did you find your customer base? Like how did you get the word out and find
Well,
business?
that was very funny. The day we produced tortillas from first time,
Mhm.
first day making tortillas, we had tortillas packed and warm and so on. And a friend of me gave me a list of her friends.
Mhm.
No, was around, I don't know, around 12 persons. No? Mexican and Spanish people and so on. So with telephone numbers. So I got the telephone. I called the first one to tell her, well, I have a good news. We have already tortillas in Munich. And she ordered. The
Okay.
first person I called, I got an order of, I don't know, 2 kilo tortillas or 3 kilo
Uh-huh.
tortillas, something like that. No, she was very happy. And so I got the list through, and so I started. No, so the person and the tell to other persons, and
Mhm.
the other person I sold tortillas told to other persons, and
So you're
so
just
went on.
working the phones and it was all kind of word of mouth. And at that time, did you have a website or how were people getting tortillas from you?
No, at that time there were not internet at that time.
Okay, okay, this was pre-internet. Okay, so people would just do a Überweisung and you would send it in the mail or like how would they get
No,
it?
no,
How?
they came to our shop to buy
Ah,
tortillas.
okay, like
People,
you're
yeah.
shopping in Unterschleißheim.
No,
Okay.
we were not in Tortillas. That time we were in Innsbruck Ring. This
Okay.
is East Munich.
Okay, so you had
Yeah,
a shop.
a little local with machine and mini shop.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. And were you feeling pretty confident that you could get enough volume of sales to cover the business?
Yeah, I
Okay.
well confident. I was always confident. You have to
Okay.
be positive.
Yeah.
Uh, if you are not, there is no wonder.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, and we tried to sell our tortillas to restaurants, and
Hmm.
that was really frustrating. They didn't want them.
What kind of restaurants?
Mexican restaurants, of course.
And they didn't
Many
want
people,
them.
nee, nein.
Were they, let me ask you something. Were they like real Mexican restaurants or like a
No,
German having a
no.
Mexican restaurant?
Really, not German. But there are people from Turkey
Okay.
and Greece and so on.
Okay.
People
Okay.
who was never in Mexico,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
So I came in with packaged tortillas. Well, look, we have a new tortilla in Munich,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't get what was that.
Yeah. No, thanks. We don't need these for our Mexican
Really,
restaurant.
really. That was very frustrating, you know. And one day, so we got established with individuals. Now people came regularly to our shop, and this label was working, you know, but no business with restaurants. And the first one was a restaurant I visited before. They said, "Look, we have two restaurants here in Munich, and we will open two restaurants in Milan, in Italy.
Hmm.
Your tortillas are good, but not good enough for us.
Oh.
They make mostly, well, they make mostly tortilla chips, you know,
Hmm.
and our tortillas are very humid. You have a lot
Hmm.
of water in them.
Hmm.
They're not good to fry,
Hmm.
you know." And they showed me the tortillas they wanted, so very thin tortillas, dry, and so on. And they said, okay, if you can get those tortillas, we can guarantee you so many cases, we buy so many cases
Hmm.
in a week. And so we said, okay, we do it. Now, let me see. And we were not able with our machine and our greening machine and so on to make those thin tortillas and so dry and so on, you know.
Hmm.
So we start to import tortillas. We found out, or I found out who could in the USA make those tortillas, and we started to import them. And we import them with the plane.
Okay.
Yeah, well, flying tortillas, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
was very expensive,
Yeah.
you know. Well, we could start like this,
Hmm.
and also with restaurant business.
Hmm.
And then came the second restaurant and the third restaurant. Yeah, we want these tortillas and we want these tortillas. And we don't want to do anything else with the other competitor.
Hmm.
And so we start to grow and grow and grow and grow. And it was one day we were able to import a big container and
Hmm.
bring it with a ship, which is
Hmm.
much cheaper as with a plane, you know.
Hmm.
And so we get established and we got more and more and more business in the restaurant branch. And one day we were able to buy bigger machines to make
Hmm.
tortillas, and we did it.
So then you could stop importing the other
Yep,
tortillas from North
yep,
America
yeah,
and make
yeah,
the one.
yeah.
Okay, I have a bunch of questions. So when you were like sourcing manufacturers for these different tortillas for tortilla chips, like did you have a network or did you like how did you find the person and like all the logistics of getting those over to Germany and customs and all of that? Was that just you just kind of figured it out or did you have people that helped you with it?
Well, from one side was figure. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, well, I have some experience in import and export.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And is that difficult in Germany? I always import export businesses seem like a mystery to me, like customs, all, or is it pretty straightforward? And once you know how to do it, you just fill out the right forms?
Well, it's not very difficult. You have to know the mechanic of it,
Mm-hmm.
and when you got it, it's always the same. It doesn't change. Now you need invoices, you need customs. How do you say in English?
You can say it in German.
Ja, Zollnummern für die
Yeah.
Ware.
Okay. Okay.
Ja? Und you need a packing list, and that's it.
Okay.
You know, it's not complicated.
So once you have the process, you just follow it each time for every
Yeah,
order and shipment. Okay.
yeah,
And so you kind of just became, is if I'm understanding right, the go-to guy. Like you started making a name for yourself as the guy who gets the good tortillas in Germany,
right.
and then the
Mhm.
restaurants started coming to you. And did you see, I mean, I know I've personally noticed an increase, I'd say maybe in the last 10 years or so, of like more quality Mexican restaurants. There was a place at Victorian Market again, but I think it closed, but like a guy from, I want to say Oaxaca, had a restaurant, and there's just
Mhm.
more authentic Mexican food here. Have you seen that as well?
Yes, of course. Market has changed a lot
Mm-hmm.
from that time as we started. No? At that time, you could put anything in a plate and say it is Mexican, and people eat it.
Yeah.
You know? After two or three cocktails, you know, it was
Yeah.
the same what you have in your plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the business was based on that at that time. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
with the time, more and more and more people went to Mexico, knew original Mexican food,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not that easy then to say people this is Mexican. No,
Mm-hmm.
they say no, that is not Mexican.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so the quality is constantly changing. There are a lot of restaurants who are really just pseudo restaurants or pseudo Mexican restaurants. You know, you have a cook from Timbuktu or something like
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
and the owner is come from, I don't know, Turkey
Mm-hmm.
or somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
No idea about
Mm-hmm.
Mexican
Mm-hmm.
food. Now, there are still business like this, but I have seen those business are not don't last
Yeah.
very long. You
Yeah.
know, now people look more on quality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
there are some very good Mexican restaurants, Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, why would you like to share those? I'd be curious which ones you like.
Well, you have
Mhm. Mhm.
in the Herzogstraße two good Mexican restaurants. There are the Tacos y Tequila, and you have El Patio in front of it.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't been there in a
they are.
while, but right, El
Yeah,
Patio.
those are
Yeah,
good
okay.
restaurants. Yes.
And are there any like outside of Munich that you like? I'd imagine in Berlin they probably have a lot of good Mexican food. I haven't been there in a while, or at least had Mexican food there for a while, but it seems like they've got a lot of international food that is like the real deal.
It can be. I really don't know how
Okay.
the Berliner markets at this time. We used to sell in many restaurants in Berlin,
Uh-huh.
but now there is a lot of people selling tortillas and Mexican products there. So we are out. This is just too far from us to conquer that
Ah.
market. Mhm.
Oh, so you have a really I would have guessed that like you are selling to Austria, Switzerland, all of Germany, but now there's competitors that are doing it
Oh
too.
yes, oh yeah, yeah. We have more and more and more competitors. So many people think it's a good idea to make tortillas and to import Mexican products.
Okay. And I guess now that there's a
So
more
some
of a
people
market.
call me not to ask me how do you do tortillas? How do you import? They do really.
And I mean, have you started like a consulting business telling people to do it, or do you just say,
No, I don't. No, no.
okay, Okay. Do you tell them or do you say I had to figure it out, you do it?
No, I don't tell them.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
tell them.
Okay, smart
No,
businessman.
I am open with people and say, you are asking me to help you to make me concurrence.
Yeah, yeah,
I won't.
yeah, yeah. That's a little,
People can understand that. Yes.
yeah, Frechheit. Okay, so I have a couple of questions about your website. So I noticed, I'm assuming you don't do your wholesale on via the website. That's all just your retail selling, or do
Mhm.
you also sell wholesale on the website?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So,
Only retail
and the site I notice is in English and German,
and
and is
Spanish.
it and Spanish? Okay. So, did you do any? You know what SEO is? Search engine optimization.
Excuse me again?
Search engine optimization, SEO, like so that Google
Mm-hmm.
finds what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Mm-hmm.
you do any of that? Like hire anybody to say like, okay, when somebody types in corn tortillas, your site comes up, or did you just do the website and Google found you?
Well, I really don't know because my wife is in charge of that. So
Ah,
I'm not
okay.
directly involved with those things. But I think our provider do that for us.
Okay, okay. And
Mm-hmm.
do you know like what most people searching in English or Spanish or German? Do you happen to know the percentages?
No, I don't know.
No. Okay. You just know that the
Sorry.
business comes in. That's okay. I was curious. And so I guess I just kind of slowly wrap up with asking like, what is one thing you wish you knew before you started this business?
Oh, that's a good question. I have seen it before, but I don't know. Well, that will be for sure how to make tortillas. I didn't know that. So we start with the business, you know, how to grind the corn, how to make the masa, so the dough, and how to make them. Now we learn it the hard way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you
Yeah,
learned it to
yeah,
our benefit.
yeah.
And would you give anybody else, like what would you tell somebody who is hoping to start a business in Germany? What advice would you give them?
Think positive.
All right.
Especially when everything looks like everything is going to go wrong and catastrophe and so on. It's the most important time to be positive and know that everything is going to be good at the end.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that is very uplifting advice. I think it's a good place to finish. Can you just tell us one more time where people can buy your products?
Excuse me again?
Can you tell us one more time where people can buy your products?
Well, it's 17.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are here from 9 till 4, Monday to Friday, and through our web shop, www.latortilla.de.
All right. Thank you so much, Jesus. It was really great to meet you and to talk to you.
Thank you very much for the interview, Leonora. It was a pleasure.
Okay, mine too. Thanks for listening. You can find this episode and all other episodes of the Germany Expat Business Show at my website at www.eleanormayerhofer.com/podcast. That's www.eleanormayerhofer.com/podcast. See you next time.